Hi everybody. Today I have a hot topic, at least when you take a look on a Facebook post I recently did. I only have about 4,000 followers on Facebook, but this post had almost 350,000 impressions, 12,000 interactions, almost 3,500 likes, and over 211 comments, 40% of which were certainly replies from me. And most of these comments were extremely positive. However, many also had concerns about the daylight coming into this aquarium. Some of the comments used very drastic words such as impossible, this will be 100% full of algae in no time, or do you want to cook your fish? In order to put these very clear theses into perspective a little, but without ignoring or conceding the potential problems, let's take a closer look at the topic. Keeping an aquarium next to a window can seem like a picturesque idea, offering natural light and a pleasant view for both the observer and the fish. The following circumstances must be taken into account, and appropriate solutions need to be implemented to ensure that the health and well-being of the animals and the aquatic environment are guaranteed. So, of course, not every location is equally suitable. You have to consider which side on the equator you live on, which direction your window is facing, and how much sunlight really gets into your aquarium. So is there a house on the other side of the street that is blocking a lot of sunlight out or not? That's all things that you should consider first. If there is extreme sunlight throughout the day, I would probably refrain from setting up an aquarium in the window. If the sunlight is moderate, I would probably consider to take some fast-growing plants so they can use all the nutritions coming in as light. And if the light's really kind of strong still, I would consider to take some floating plants such as the water cabbage, for example, or the red root floater. Or Salvinia minima would also be a very suitable plant to just provide some more shade inside the aquarium and to keep the balance throughout the day and also throughout the year. So in my case, there is only a little bit of sunlight hitting the aquarium at the end of the day in the summer months from, I would say, early June to the beginning of August. And there's only sunlight hitting the aquarium late in the evening when the sun is already very low on the horizon and the sun doesn't have that strong impact anymore. So the fluctuations on my tank are quite low. But let's talk to the possible issues point by point. And the first thing I'd like to point at, and I would like to talk about, is temperature fluctuations. Direct sunlight especially can cause lots of temperature fluctuations. Especially in my case, but also I guess in many other cases, the summer months can be a bit tricky regarding especially overheating and to keep this as an overall balance. For colder months, obviously I have a heater in my filter directly, and in the summer months, as in every other tank that I have, I'm using a cooler fan. You can get them especially for aquariums. You just attach them on the glass corner and there's just like air breathing onto the aquarium surface, and because of the breathing of this effect, the aquarium is cooling down. It even has the temperature control, so a thermometer that you put inside the water and it's directly turning on when the water is getting too warm. In addition, you could obviously use whatever is necessary or needed. For example, you can use window blinds, curtains. I also recently found that in one other comment also to this aquarium, there was somebody writing that they use an UV foil that is keeping UV rays out of the window. So basically that can also help prevent to get too much direct sunlight into the aquarium, and also keep the aquarium cooler in the summer months. The second thing is obviously algae bloom. So it's like in an aquarium where you put too much artificial light above. All my aquariums run at 6 hours per day only, but this aquarium specifically runs only at 5 hours because there is more daylight coming into this aquarium. And I just reduced the artificial light I put into this aquarium to just 5 hours, and I also turned down the intensity to just 60%, which also helps a lot to reduce algae. It still happens that from time to time I obviously need to brush off the stones from and also clean the sand, but I also have to do this in every other aquarium and so do I have to clean the glass in and outflows and the clear tubings. I still like this a lot. I like this much better. And yes, I do have a bit more, maybe 10% more a week time that I have to spend on this aquarium specifically, just because there is a bit more light coming in there and there's not that many plants in there that really benefit from the light. And yeah, then we can also directly jump to the next point, because too much sunlight can also cause problems with water quality. The growth of algae, for example, can also lead to higher ammonia, higher nitrates, and yeah, you should take a look into your aquarium and really see if there is something not healthy or not right. You can also test these things if you don't feel comfortable deciding yourself, and see if there's any spikes coming up. I would say that especially for beginners, this is obviously a bit more difficult task, but it's definitely not impossible. And yeah, it's just crucial to look into your aquariums and check if everything's alright. I do that nearly every day, but that's part of my routine. And what you can also do is, yeah, just do lots of water changes. I would recommend that anyways, because a lot of fish poop in the water isn't going anywhere. Even though the tank is cycling with a filter, fresh water is the best thing you can do for your fish and your plants, because usually the fish in the river has fresh water all the time. Also, clean your substrate from time to time, siphon it out, because all the dirt that is accumulating in the substrate can also cause problems inside the aquarium, and can also, if you clean it regularly, will definitely help you keep it clean and keep an overall balance. There was one more topic. I often got comments under this post, but also under other posts as well, and that was regarding the glass stand this aquarium stands on. Some of the people even said it's artificial because it's not possible. It definitely is. It's the ADA glass stand. It's made for a 60p aquarium, which is 60 by 30 by 36 centimeters. And what I have here is a 60F, the newer version. It's a 60 by 30 by 25 centimeter aquarium. And this cabinet is quite stable. You can believe me. It's really holding this aquarium very well. It's very stable. And so yeah, as a conclusion, you just check out what location this window really is on. Keep it clean, do the maintenance, check the water levels, check the nutritions, and then you're definitely able to have your aquarium in front of a window, and it looks amazing. I hope this video helped you a lot. Would be very appreciated if you follow my channel and give this video a like and a thumb up. See you soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day.